Hi, this is Gert from SEOleverage.com. Sorry about the slight delay. I was just on another consulting call, which took a little bit longer. This is the Ask Me Anything live today, Friday. As you might know already, every Friday we do these Ask Me Anything live videos where you can ask me questions directly on Facebook, and I'm going to try to answer them as comprehensively as possible. This week, I would like to point out that we just launched our SEO course for beginners, which could be an interesting opportunity for you to get to know a little bit more about SEO. It's not only aimed at people implementing SEO, but also if you want to get a better understanding on what your SEO agency is doing or how you could improve your website. It's definitely worth checking it out. It has a very low price point. It comes with private coaching from me for a couple of months. So definitely take a look, and this might be a very good opportunity. SEOleverage.com/success. The first question today is, what's the quickest way to increase my organic visitors? And there's one tip that has been coming up this week. I have been like on 20 calls probably this week. This has been coming up all the time. And I usually give the same advice. You want to take out Google Search Console. If you don't have it on your radar yet, Google it, see if you can set it up. And this is a free tool that gives information about how your website comes up in search engines. Why do you want to know this? Because you want to know how often your search engines get shown and how often people click on them. The click in relation to the number of impressions or the number of times the result gets shown comes down to the click-through rate. So if you get 100 impressions and you get one click, you have a 1% click-through rate. The reason I'm insisting so much on this also with my clients is because very often you might have well-ranking results with a lot of impressions. They come up a lot in Google, but with a lower click-through rate than average. And this is a very good starting point for you to get more traffic by optimizing your search snippets on those results that get very high number of impressions, but a lower click-through rate than your average click-through rate. And what you can do is you can optimize the page title, or meta title as they call it sometimes, and the meta description. So the page title is what usually shows on top on the browser tab, and the meta description is what you see in Google as the description of the search result. So sometimes Google makes it up and grabs it from the website anyway, but most of the times you're going to be able to customize these texts, and you want to do this to increase the click-through rate. So imagine you have like a 1% click-through rate, you double it to, you get it to 2%, which is possible probably 99% of the times. To get to the 2%, you would double traffic to that URL or for this search term, and do this at scale. And ideally have some sort of routine where you every Friday at noon, you go through like the 10 lowest click-through rates on the Search Console tool. You would then know exactly what's happening in terms of click-through rates when you optimize text and how they get improved. Definitely, this is the quickest way to increase organic visitors. Then you can tackle other strategies. Here's a question about team building. How are you in touch with your team? That's an interesting one. We usually have a few team members here with me in my office. Now with COVID, we are kind of distributed, everybody working from home. That's not an issue for us. We are very used to working remotely anyway, with a lot of team members working from home or from co-working spaces, etc. How we keep in touch with the team is definitely through a tool called Slack. Slack is like a group chat where you can define different groups for different projects, for example, for different clients, and drag in every team member that needs to know about what's being talked about this project. This essentially removes the need for many team meetings we would need otherwise, where everybody needs to gather in a room and now we talk about this project. With Slack, we essentially just write the information everybody needs to know in this Slack channel, and everybody receives the message who needs to receive it. So Slack also has a search function. So if you want to search what did we talk about a client's SEO audit or the next steps on link building, for example, we could just search link building and we're going to get the history. And also new team members, for example, joining today, joining this project, can then use the search function or scroll up and see the history about what has been talked about this project lately and get up to speed much faster. Slack has also virtually removed the need for internal email. There's hardly any internal email going on because we just send each other Slack messages, and by the time you follow up on them on the pending messages. You can create multiple streams of discussions if there are different topics to discuss, and this has been working very well for us for years. Another tool we use here in for the team is Teamwork PM or teamwork.com. There's a project management tool where we essentially list all the main tasks that are worked on that have a certain deadline, or also repetitive tasks. So there are tasks in an agency which have to come up twice a week, for example, or every second Friday, etc. This is going to come up. This is going to be organized. We also have templates in there where we automatically, when we do a site audit, we have certain tasks we know we are going to have to tackle and who is going to do them. And then you can just create a new audit and have all the tasks ready in there. This also helps a lot with the team, and within there's also some smaller communication going on. And then essential for us, for the remote team, are frequent calls. So we have a younger team where we do daily calls. So every day at 8:30, we have a Zoom call with everybody on there and discuss who does what, how can the team support someone who needs help maybe. I tell them what I'm up to, what I think is going to come up next, what's important, what's happening on Google, everybody should know about, etc. We share a little bit of our experience, of our analysis. We do some analysis parts together, and definitely focus a lot on team training, a lot on communication, a lot of having the team work together. And this works very well for us. And I would imagine this could also work very well for a lot of companies out there. Another question we got just today, because we launched a few days ago the SEO course with the private coaching there. We got a question on how the private coaching works. So once you purchase the course, and the private coaching is also going to be available as a standalone product in the next days. Once you get in there, you have like a chat box with me directly where you can ask me questions about your site. This is a private thread. This is not going to be public or public within the community. This is only going to be between you and me, where you can ask me questions, say, look, this is my website. What should be the next steps? Where should I focus my attention on? Or also a little bit about accountability, where you kind of commit to work on your keyword research next week. I might be asking you how this goes. You report to me on what you have been achieving, etc. It's very different the level of performance you can get to if you have someone to hold you accountable to what you were planning to do, than to just put something on your task list. And the task list is very patient, as we all know. It's very easy to have things wait for a few days more, or another week, or another month, or even another year. We've seen everything. So the private coaching is just a private chat. We also, with this private coaching membership, we have a forum for the community where other things can be shared. But the private coaching is really between you and me helping you with your current situation. Okay, just checking. I think these are the questions for today. If you have any questions with your SEO or about our product, service, etc., send us an email to support@seoleverage.com. I log in every day. My team logs in every day. We try to get questions sorted as soon as possible. And the most important ones, we then select for these Ask Me Anything calls on Fridays. So definitely make sure you send us anything that might come up and you want our take on it. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, have a great weekend, and see you next Friday.